Hi there, it's Mike from Incrementa, and today I have Cheryl Doll with me. Cheryl is a friend of mine and fellow coach with Gravitas Impact, and we're here to talk about negative and sometimes destructive self-talk. Now, this topic came up because one of the CEOs I work with is dealing with it in a major way. She's gone all the way up to the top, and yet in the back of her head, there's constantly this, I'm not good enough, I'm so stupid, I should have known this. And it really, really is wearing on her. Cheryl, I've heard this rumor you've had a little bit of experience with negative self-talk.
Yep, you could certainly say that. Sure. Yes, I have. That's my long answer.
I think it's something we all deal with, and to greater or lesser extents. But managing that impact is incredibly important. How have you dealt with some of the self-talk challenges you've had?
So my approach is whatever the negative self-talk is. So if it's, I'm not good enough, that's one I think a lot of people experience, including myself. You just say those words over and over again. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough until it almost sounds like gibberish. And what you realize is, you're putting emotion to letters that are put together and strung together to form words. And it could be, I'm not good enough, 4 words. It could be, you could say blue, pink, 1, 2, and, those words don't mean anything. So why are you assigning emotion to other words? So that's a fun tool to kind of help when it comes to negative self-talk that I like to use.
So I'm not good enough becomes peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
There you go.
And then sandwich. Yeah.
Yes, if you would like to do it with peanut butter and jelly sandwich, by all means.
Awesome. Now, as you're talking about that one of the things I love to do is to turn it around. And it takes a little bit of self-awareness, and it takes a lot of practice because you have to recognize it's happening before it gets into that destructive cycle. But to say, I'm not good enough, and say, I want to, or I'm going to be good enough. Or even if you start with, I'm not good enough yet. And then the next logical is, okay, I'm going to become good enough. And it starts that switching you to that growth mindset, to that opportunity instead of challenge side of things.
Yeah. So obviously growth mindset is huge here, and recognizing when you're not in a growth mindset is, obviously takes a little bit of self-awareness. And it's always nice to have a colleague or partner or a coach that you trust, implicitly to kind of help point out or make aware maybe of when you're not in a growth mindset and you're in a fixed mindset. So it's helpful to have that person there to help you see that and then allow you to see another perspective in terms of flipping it.
I have a fellow coach that when I'm in that really negative space, she's amazing at just providing the clear, unwarped mirror. And then saying, really, here's the mirror. And you look and go, oh, I'm being a bit of a dumbass. Right. And that's enough to trigger the self-awareness for me and help me get through it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, when I can't, there's those leading questions. So if it's I'm not good enough, and there'll be a question like, okay, so what do you need to do to become good enough?
Mm-hmm. Or how do you measure good enough? That's my favorite.
Yes, with a ruler.
Yeah, no way to measure good enough.
No.
Yeah, and I would say what I think gets people in this cycle or this loop is I think sometimes they realize that they're having negative self-talk, and then I shouldn't be having this. I shouldn't be having this. I shouldn't be treating myself this way, and that just perpetuates it. And I think the more we talk about things like this, mental illness and just mental health in general, the less it's stigmatized. Because I think, everyone I work with and talk to, there's some kind of negative discussion going on in their head. And it could be really about anything, but just recognizing that this isn't a symptom that very few people experience. This is something that I think plagues most of us.
Thank you so very much for your time, Cheryl.
Thank you so much for having me. I will happily come back and chat about whatever subject you'd like again.
Beautiful. Thank you.